Tomorrow I'm turning 24. So I decided to do a little recap of my 23rd year of life. Hopefully this video won't be like 30 minutes long, but no promises. I was totally exaggerating when I said hopefully it's not 30 minutes, and it ended up being over 30 minutes. Feel free to just skip around or just not watch this video at all. Let's get into it. Obviously, I had a lot going on right before this time last year. So I graduated from college December of 2018. Right after that, I went to Europe with a bunch of random cool people through like this travel group. I had New Year's Eve in Amsterdam, went to Paris, London, and then after that I went to the Dominican Republic with my mom. All super cool stuff. For the technicality of this video, we're going to start at my 23rd birthday. So here's like the day before. Natasha brought me my favorite frosted cookies. I have been getting these every year for my birthday since like at least, honestly, probably like middle school. So Tushar made a homemade carrot cake. We updated the little sign in our house that typically says welcome house 10, and it said happy birthday. There's the card that Tushar got me that I thought was really dope. The birthday fit. So the actual day of my birthday, I think it was Wednesday, because this year it's a Thursday. We stayed in, me and the roomies, Nikki and Tushar, took a couple shots, and we actually walked to, there's like a little Mexican grocery market. I don't know why we went there exactly, but it was a really good time. I actually bought, I don't know if they bought it for me or I bought it for me, and it's just so cute, and it's still in my room. So it was right when we moved here, like a few days after we moved here. My little birthday piñata. So here's some clips of my 23rd birthday. I had like 10, 15 or so friends over, and we kind of had a little game night at this new townhouse that we moved into. So we signed a lease here February 1st. So my birthday is just after that, so it was a really cool kind of initial get together with all my close friends. So that was a lot of fun, and this game that we were doing was hysterical. My full-time position at Lumentum started February 11th. Now I actually had stuff to do. I wasn't just like relaxing at home all day, which was cool while it lasted also. So my manager is right off the bat trying to get me to go to Asia to see where our manufacturing is done. We manufacture transceivers in Thailand and Malaysia. In March, I have the opportunity to travel to Bangkok, Thailand and Shenzhen, China for my first work trip. This trip was honestly such a big crazy thing for me because it was really my first time traveling completely alone. I was able to go with a coworker who kind of guided me around for the most part. I think he'd been there before. Apart from that, it was really it's a different environment than, you know, being with your close friends. Being with, you know, like a professional colleague, it's kind of like there's age differences and cultural differences, so that was pretty tough. But anyway, so overall, you know, pretty excited and just like didn't have any clue what to expect. I headed out on a night flight. My connecting flight was from Hong Kong to Bangkok. I spent some time in Hong Kong, and I didn't have enough time to leave the airport, but on the way back I had the opportunity. But yeah, so got to Thailand, had to, you know, figure out there was like this car service that picked me up, took me to my hotel. I stayed at the Conrad, which was so insane. So this moment, like when I was walking into this hotel room, it was just so surreal because like I walked in there and I was just so shocked. Like I had to take it all in, especially after like 24 hours of traveling and just feeling gross. Even like looking at this video now, you know, it's just like I definitely did not feel like I deserved that. Questionable if I feel like I deserve that now. So needless to say, I just felt really lucky and undeserving of that beautiful hotel room and like that sick view. That bathtub was spectacular. Very excited about taking those baths. So I had one full like 5-day work week in Bangkok before going to Shenzhen. We had like this Kaizen event, so it was a pretty structured activity. The whole week we were working on improving some processes, whatever, and so we like made these mock-ups out of styrofoam and presented in front of a group and came up with solutions. So that was the gist of like the day-to-day work activities. So it was just every day we had this shuttle, this bus would come pick us up from the hotels, and we would drive there in insane traffic. It took almost an hour basically each way. We'd get home and it's dark out, so it was pretty much just like very long days because of the event. It was usually dinner time by the time we came back, and they offered dinner there if we were working late, but I would go back and there was like a little mall connected to my hotel, so typically I went by myself in the little mall, got some pad thai, and then I'd get back and it was already like super late and I was exhausted from my day of work, and I would just like relax in my hotel room. I like figured out how to like Chromecast in my hotel room and like would watch some Netflix and like unwind. That was my comfort at the end of the day, and like the other side of the world was Netflix. Well, all is going well. Now it's the middle of the week, and I remember this. It was a Wednesday. It was Wednesday morning. How do I say? Insane diarrhea. Vision goes black. I pass out. Things took a turn for the worst. I had a little explanation video that I made at the end of the day. I'm just gonna play that. I woke up this morning with insane diarrhea, like ridiculous. That I'm like, all right, we're good. Like I'm still gonna go to work. And in the morning, in the clean room with our bunny suits and all, I like feel a little nauseous and head to the exit. Don't make it though. Completely like vision goes black. I pass out, faint on the ground, and people are like running to my side. I get escorted to the manufacturing room hospital where no one speaks English, but eventually I get a translator and they put me on antibiotics and give me some like anti-nausea pills. So the crazy part about this whole thing, one from my group even noticed that I faint, like they didn't know I was gone. You know, and it was just like, it was kind of a shock. You know, I was halfway around the world and got really sick and fainted for the first time in my life, and on top of it, no one really cared. So that was kind of a solid growing and learning experience for me, I'd say. So I ended up being fine by the next day or whatever. I just had to keep taking my antibiotics. And got to the end of the week finally. It was probably one of the longer weeks of my life. So Friday we all had like a group lunch. It was like a lunch dinner. We were having that lunch for what was basically hours. It was like a restaurant on a boat, which was sick. It was finally the weekend and I had some free time to explore Bangkok. It was pretty much all on my own. The guy that I was traveling with kind of went MIA, just let it happen. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do my own thing. So I used like I think it's called Grab, like the Uber equivalent there. Got a ride to the center of the city, went to that main temple there. That was super cool. Chilled, came back, like chilled at the hotel. The hotel had this really nice pool that I hung out at. For the remainder half of the week, we flew to Shenzhen, China, so from Bangkok to Shenzhen, to spend a couple days at the Lumentum office in Shenzhen. So that was super cool. You guys, I am so thoroughly shook. My first time in Asia altogether, but first time in China for these few days. The bathrooms in China were super different, to say the least. That was interesting to get used to. I don't think I ever got used to it. I was only there for a few days. We took a car ride to Hong Kong, and then I had some time that day before my flight back home. So I went ahead and took a taxi myself and checked out the Tian Tan Buddha in Hong Kong, which was a super rewarding experience. I was a little nervous. This taxi ride to the Tian Buddha was like insane. This guy was speeding and we were like up in these hills and I thought I was gonna die and it was like kind of hilarious, but I survived. Made it there. It was like a super foggy day. It was hard to see the Buddha, but it was also kind of made it all mystical. His statue was massive. I'm not a very religious or spiritual person, but to see the Tian Buddha, it got me feeling things. Really glad I took the time while I was in Hong Kong to check that out. I changed. This video is taking a lot longer to film than I anticipated. So I finally come back home and needless to say, it was great to be back in America. I didn't realize how much I would miss America. Yeah, so that was March. April, back to work, the normal grind, work and stuff. Towards the end of April, me and my friend Matea went to a little Olivia O'Brien concert. That was super dope. Here's me relating a little too hard to this song. And then realizing that I sound psychotic. Todd, for those of you who don't know, Todd from the Vlog Squad, you know, the cute YouTuber. I don't think they're together anymore, but at this time, Todd was dating Olivia O'Brien. Him and a few other YouTuber friends of theirs were all there at this concert, like supporting her, and we found Todd. Me and Matea were super strategic about this. We don't want to be super annoying, but also like you can't turn down a free shot.
Cheers!
Taking our shot together, and me and Matea are freaking out. We spent so much money on those shots, by the way. They were not cheap because it was like at a concert.
Go take a picture now.
And then here's me with Olivia O'Brien's sister, Grace, I think her name is. Oh man, we bought her a shot too.
My personal favorite from the album.
Selfie with Todd, yay, oh my god, he's so cute. This was the girl that opened for Olivia O'Brien. I think her name's like Elise something. Like I newly discovered her and I love her music, but like I didn't really know her that well. Apparently her family was standing next to us the whole time and like she came back after her show and Matea made this whole big deal and like made it sound like I was her biggest fan and that I needed a picture. That's why I'm super red in this photo also, because I was just really embarrassed and the whole family was like, yeah, take a picture with her, she's a really big fan. That was just awkward and hilarious because we were also super drunk. Few other quick things in April. Started helping my parents move. Whole chaotic moving situation from Pleasanton House to Livermore House, but we didn't have Livermore House yet. And there was also an apartment in Santa Clara in the mix. It was pretty much from like April through like June, July, and it was a lot of physical labor, so you're welcome, family. One other cool thing in April was I had the chance to go with a group of girls from SWE at SJSU and get a little Apple tour, which was awesome. But here's a picture of my badge, woohoo, proof that I did that. So then May comes along. A bunch of my friends graduating college also. Natasha, Priyanka, Matea. I helped take some pics for them. That was cool. And then mid-May, I also go to Tahoe with some friends. Alyssa and her college friends from Santa Barbara. That was like super spontaneous and really fun. It was kind of like a reunion for them and I just intruded on it, but they were all pretty chill, so we had a good time. We actually played True American. That show New Girl like invented this game True American and it's super fun. It's like really chaotic and random, but we actually attempted to play it and it kind of worked. We made this like really wholesome family dinner. Everyone had a little margarita on their plate and the guys were like cooking up on the barbecue. It was a whole thing. A lot of teamwork went into that. So following this in May, I went to Priyanka's little birthday shindig. We actually went on a boat in SF. It was like some boat party, which was actually a crazy story because we got tickets for one boat but ended up on another boat accidentally, and it was a much better boat. And yeah, needless to say, that was a awesome time. We all got trashed on this boat. So then in June, back to the normal work grind, not too much going on. More of the move stuff happened with the family. So a lot more of helping them with that on my weekends, with my spare time. For 4th of July, my mom and I went to LA to visit family. So I got to hang out with my cousins, which was super fun. I hadn't seen them in a while. We got to hang out. We went and watched the fireworks, and then I took all my cousins to the beach. That was fun. We're all getting older now, and so they're all like teenagers, and I was the responsible adult in the group, and I drove all the kids, which was funny to me. Shortly after returning from LA, visiting family, I get to go on my second work trip. So 2 weeks in Penang, Malaysia. At this point, I had registered for my classes, Master's in Engineering Management, starting this fall. Just about a month after this, it was in my best interest to go on this trip right before my classes started. So this was July, and my classes were going to start at the end of August. I went with a lady colleague. We were actually in the same hotel this time, which was nice, but still like very separate. This colleague is also a parent. You know, the previous one was a parent, this one's a parent. There's still age and cultural differences there. So with these work trips, I definitely experience, I don't want to say loneliness, but it can be a little isolating. So I found myself feeling pretty isolated in this trip. I was also kind of in a bad mental space, which I'll talk a little bit about later. We were at the Hotel Equatorial in Penang, so super nice. There wasn't really anything walking distance from it, but they had a shuttle service that took us to like the local mall and stuff. It was really pretty on the inside. They had a little garden around it, way above my expectations, so, you know, not complaining there for sure. Really pretty view, really pretty pool. I never actually went in that pool, but it's still pretty. We got there with a weekend to spare. We didn't just jump into the week. So like day 1, day 2, me and my coworker went and explored the city a bit, got some street food, and that was fun. Work week started. Again, it was shuttled to and from the office. Here's me in my little bunny suit. This one's not actually the full bunny suit. It's just like the partial, but anyway. So yeah, it's super sexy. We ate a lot of food this entire 2 weeks. Pretty good. Not gonna lie though, by the end of it, I was getting tired of the Malaysian food. Finally got through the week. I kind of went off and did my own thing. I went to hike Penang Hill. So I took a little grab ride and went to Penang Hill to do this hike. So there's typically like a trolley train thing that takes a bunch of tourists up and down all day to the top of this hill, and then there's a bunch of cool other touristy things to do at the top of the hill. But there's also this hike as an option, and it's this really tiny trail. It's like super narrow. There's like a lot of stairs. It's funny because it's so beautiful, but like I went this whole trail and I only saw like a handful of people. So most people were crammed in this little train, but it was so rewarding. And I'm telling you, like, this was definitely my highlight of being in Penang. It was very humid, plus like just straight uphill. And by the end of, when I got to the top, my entire shirt was soaked. After that weekend, we still had another full week. 2 weeks anywhere is a very long time. 2 weeks on a work trip is also like, it's a lot. So by the second week, I was getting I was just ready to go. Through a handful of migraines, definitely got sick a few times. With me, it's like I'll get my migraine and then it'll usually make me throw up eventually. So definitely went through that a few times. It was just a super long second week. There was a few storms in the middle of the night. I got some shots of like the insane thunder and lightning that was like keeping me up one of the nights. Again, wasn't in a great mental headspace, as you can see in this next clip. Kind of came out of it just like frustrated with life a little bit and just ready to go home. Anyways, I'm doing great. I'm gonna go home make a beautiful montage of my trip. And you know, people are gonna think that I'm so happy. Good times. I'd been through a lot this year that I didn't really touch on before either, but coming out of my first real relationship and getting over that and coming to the place that I am now of just being okay, and more or less took a whole year for me to do, but I finally got to a better place. And I think this trip, this second trip to Asia this year, that was kind of a turning point for me. I think I hit my lowest point, which really just got me back up on my feet when I came back from this trip. So it was not easy, for sure, but I needed to go through all that. I know that's a lot and doesn't really have anything to do with Malaysia, but like it all kind of added on top of each other. Got back from Malaysia. Literally the weekend after I get back from Malaysia, I go to the Outside Lands Music Festival at Golden Gate Park in SF with my friend Matea and Tushar. It was honestly the best timing because this weekend was so needed. So this was all of our first time going, and we came out of it like we are doing this every single year. Day one was, the highlight of that was 21 Pilots. Me and Matea are diehard 21 Pilots fans. And there was The Neighborhood. Blink 182 was also on day one. It's like full days, right? So it's like from whatever, like 11 a.m. to like late at night. We were exhausted, and it was 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On the last day here, they had like a special guest appearance, and it was Wyclef. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Wyclef in the house tonight. Everything is gonna be alright. It was all around a really great music festival. So we are at end of August now. Other main things that happened: I chopped off a good portion of my hair. I have little before and after videos here. It's very like refreshing, and like I just felt like myself again. I actually got invited through work to attend this super dope, it was like a 100-year anniversary for women's voting rights. It was this whole event at NASA. We got to hear from panelists, high-level Silicon Valley women who answered questions about things of how they got to where they are today. We got to hear from women astronauts. That was dope. But the coolest part was probably getting to hear from Nancy Pelosi. She shared this little tidbit that really stuck with me. That was awesome.
Do it, how you connect with people. There's nobody like you. Unique. And the best advice I ever got when I was running was just be yourself. Just be yourself. That confidence, that courage, that authenticity, unlike anyone else, is so positive for our government, for our politics, for everything actually, for our military, for our corporate world, for our academic world, you name it. But I can tell you firsthand, from the standpoint of governance and the rest, there's nothing more wholesome and more positive than the increased participation of women and the leadership of women in that regard. So I hope that you will all entertain at least the idea, putting yourself on the line.
Well, by the time I finish this video, I'm gonna be 25. So it's September now. My classes have started. I just cut my hair, getting more busy with stuff, seeing my friends more often at school. Decided to get a new nickel board and a new bike. Here's my beautiful bike that I've put on YouTube already like 5 times since I'm obsessed with it. This was also the time that I pretty much started doing little YouTube videos. Oh, and it was really fun. Still is fun, even though this video is 10 hours long and I hope no one watches it except for future Emily. October, office headquarters moved from Milpitas to San Jose, which was dope for me because it moved super close to where I live. It was already like a 20-minute drive, which wasn't bad, but now it's like a 10-minute drive with no traffic. It's like 5 minutes, so all good. I should be like biking to work, but I still have yet to do that. Here's my new little office. End of October for Halloween and the beginning of November, I went to visit Alyssa in Tacoma. That was super cool. I made a little video montage also that I put up on my channel. I really like Seattle, Tacoma area. I got to spend some time walking around Tacoma by myself while Alyssa was in class. And then Halloween, we went out with a bunch of her new school friends. So November, I get back, school is picking up, so I'm super busy, working full time. Towards the end of November, it's my grandpa's 85th birthday. So my parents and I drive down to LA together, spend some time with family. So that was super nice. My cousins organized a bunch of fun little games.
You just calculated a small function.
November, so it's 39. 29 and
Okay, so it's finally December, and that means it's time for Christmas decorations. Christmas is probably my favorite holiday. I have a little tradition that Alyssa comes over and we set up my tree together. This year was the first year in our Livermore house, so I took advantage of that and went hard with the decor, set up all the lights, put up a ladder, did the roofing and everything. My family hosted a little Christmas party amongst family friends this year as well. A lot of food, and then we have like the White Elephant gift exchange. Always a good time, always a little drama. Finally get my finals done, and then right around this time is also my company holiday party. This is my second Lumentum holiday party that I was able to go to. Second time taking a friend, which was really great. I took my new friend Nausea that I met in one of my classes this semester. It was like poker themed, like casino night, so that was fun. Then the one weekend right after my finals, right before Christmas, it was also my friend Matea's birthday. So a few of us went to the city and stayed in a hotel and went out clubbing in the city that night. That was super fun. A few days after Christmas, I finally get to go to New Zealand. I think I forgot to mention before, decided to do this trip, got my ticket in like late September, early October, I think. It was with the same travel group, EF Ultimate Break, that I did my Europe New Year's Eve trip the year before. It hadn't really hit me until like the day I was going, even that it was so hectic with finals and Christmas and everything. I left on December 28th, I believe.
So we're the 3 roommates.
It's great because I showered with sheets, and this is storage, that is storage.
I'm so glad that it's just 3 people instead of 6. Can you imagine 6 people?
A few days in, we celebrated the new year.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This trip was one of the most memorable trips of my life probably, and will be. The area is just like so breathtaking. I recommend that everyone sees New Zealand at least once in their lives, but also just like this group of people. We got so close so quick.
We are family.
I really couldn't have asked for a better group of people, given that it's like totally random too. We spent 15 days together. Needless to say, I made some lifelong friends for sure.
Yo, this is Eddie. Checking in.
Eddie.
Checking in. Yeah.
What's up?
I made this rap for you.
For you!
So that was a really rewarding experience and an awesome way to bring in the new year. I get back from that trip. It is January 11th. Get back to work, get back to remembering how to work because I had 3 weeks off with Christmas and my vacation. So back to life, and here we are now, and it's February. So that is it, people. I'm turning 24 tomorrow, and if you actually watch this whole video, I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm sorry I wasted like 40 minutes of your time, but you decided to watch this thing, so you should probably make better decisions in life. All joking aside, I pretty much just made this video for myself to look back on, but if you did watch it, I hope it was at least a little bit entertaining. Until next time, also note to self, future Emily, filming this thing was a lot of effort. Probably never gonna do this again. We're only gonna have a nice little recap video of our 23rd year of life. So yeah, I guess I'll just try to remember everything that I do this year.
Yeah, she's vlogging. Like and subscribe.